At some point in our life, each of us watching this video has done what we call throwing an object into space. We have all done that at some point of our life. And what is it that we are doing whenever we release something into space? We call it in physics, we call it projection. Projection. So anytime you release any object at all into space, then you're doing what we call projection. And space is just throwing something, it's as simple as throwing something into the air. Now, this now brings us to what we have to discuss today, and that is what we call projectile motion. Before we can understand projectile motion, we need to understand the key things that define this projectile motion, and that is projectile and motion. Now, in physics, when you talk about motion, motion is simply the change, okay, the change in the position of a body with time. So when anybody encounters a change in its position, for example, as I am standing here on my board, if I advance towards the camera, I've changed my position. And as a result of that, I have made motion. So that is what motion is simply about. Then the next thing that combine together to form this projectile motion is what we call projectile. Now, we need to understand what a projectile is, and I'm here to explain that to you. By definition, a projectile is any object that follows a parabolic or curved path when released into space. So you can liken the diagram to be something that when you release into space, it follows a path like this. This is what we call a parabolic or a curved path. Now, joining these two phenomena together, we get what we call projectile motion. And what is now this projectile motion? It is the motion that a body released into space follows. It is the motion that it performs as soon as it is released into space. So this is now the combined explanation for projectile motion. And under projectile motion, there are a couple of things that we look out for. Why is this actually important? Because as soon as you release something into space, there are some things you care about. For people that book flights, you travel from one place to another. You know that when you're booking a flight, you go to where you're supposed to get your flight ticket. And as soon as you've done all the necessary preparation, you go on board the plane and you move to where you're supposed to go. In the process of moving to where you're supposed to go, there is time. Time is elapsing. Okay? Time is also flowing. So one of the things that we consider whenever we are talking about projectile motion is time. And not just any time. We call it the time of flight, meaning the time taken to move from where you are to where you want to be. But in the case of the projectile, it is the time taken for it when it released from where it was released to where it landed on the ground. In the next video, we're going to be discussing these parameters that are embedded inside projectile motion. So stay tuned.